Welcome back, trainers. So in this video, we're going to be going over the possibility of more Gen 5 Pokemon being released, as well as the next EX raid and going over their stats here. So we have Minccino and Cinccino on screen. Now this may be revolving around some sort of task day, much like Feebas and Lotad. I know those were not welcomed too much by trainers, but we're going to go over those here in just a moment. And then the possibility of the next EX raid. I know we've been talking about Arceus. We have Meloetta here on screen. There are two different forms, so we'll just have to see how that does work out, going over their stats and seeing how useful they're actually going to be in Pokemon Go. And then as well as Keldeo, that is going to be part of the Swords of Justice. So we do currently have Virizion, and it is due to take off fairly soon. Are we going to see Keldeo following that, or is it going to become an EX raid? Genesect is also up as a candidate for an EX raid, as well as Arceus. But at this point, we have no idea what Niantic is going to do. Genesect, Arceus, both of those have multiple different forms, so I'm not exactly sure how they're going to actually release them, or if they're even going to be an EX raid boss. So we'll just have to wait and see. There are several other Pokemon that can be EX raids, but I don't think Niantic is actually going to put them in there. There's also these two Pokemon, Manphy and Fiona, which I am not fond of whatsoever, so I really hope they do not actually add them in to the EX raids, because it's going to be less motivating than Regigigas. So as we can see, a few tweets by Niantic support here. So to clarify just a little bit more as to when Regigigas is going to be taking off. Hello trainer, the next EX raid scheduled on the 9th of January should, keyword should, we're going to go back to that, feature Regigigas. Get your battle party ready. It's funny how they use the word should in that specific tweet, and then we go over to another one. We'll clarify, Sean. This is going to be a reply to somebody. Regigigas will be available in EX raids on the 8th and 9th of January 2020. Get your battle party ready. So we have a bit of a conflict of words here. So on the top tweet, it says should. I guess they're giving themselves a bit of space, so if they do mess up, they didn't say will, they said should. But if we move down to the bottom tweet, they say will. Big difference between those two words. We'll just have to see exactly what takes place here. Okay, moving it on to possibly a new Gen 5 Pokemon, Minccino, for a task day. So if you take a look at these tasks that were data mined, there's going to be quite a few that are going to be revolving around Minccino. So, I mean, what is that going to possibly mean? It's not going to just simply be released and all these tasks are going to be revolving around it. Very well could be, but I have a feeling that we're going to get some sort of task day. Does that mean we're going to get the shiny form as well introduced right off the bat? It's not going to be like unheard of or anything. We've seen new Gen 5 Pokemon getting their shinies right away, as well as other generations. So this is very much possible for us to receive this in the future. So no dates, nothing announced. So we'll just have to wait and see, other than the data mine pulled for the specific task revolving around Minccino. Now, with that said, let's go ahead and take a look at Cinccino's stats. That's going to be the evolved form from that previous one for those tasks that we've seen there. It's going to be a pure normal type with a max CP of 2,242, attack 198, defense 130, and stamina 181. Weak to fighting and resisting ghosts because it's just normal. Fast moves are going to be Pound and Charm. Charge moves are going to be Hyper Beam, Thunderbolt, and Aqua Tail. Now, is this something that you're going to absolutely have to get? Not quite. It's more so going to be a dex filler, and it's also going to take you a Unova Stone to evolve it. So hopefully you do have a few, put some aside, get ready for this to be released. I wouldn't say go and evolve like 4 of them or 3 of them, maybe just 2 or maybe just 1, but yeah, we'll see how that all works out. Now, taking a look at Meloetta, we're going to be looking at the Meloetta form. And this specific Pokemon in the main series games has only been an event Pokemon, so it might be an EX raid in Pokemon Go. Now take a look at that amazing stat that it does have for its attack, 296 compared to the best fighter that we currently do have, Lucario, 236. Does this mean that the Meloetta form is going to actually outperform it? Not quite. We're going to have to go over those stats here. It's going to be a normal and fighting type, max CP 3,915, attack 269. Wow. Defense 188 and stamina 225. It is going to be weak to fairy, fighting, flying, and psychic, resisting ghost, bug, dark, and rock. For its quick moves, we do have quick attack and low kick. Low kick is an absolutely horrible move. For the charge moves, we have close combat, hyper beam, ice punch, and fire punch. Moves are going to be subject to change. Now, close combat is not going to be that good in comparison to Aura Sphere and counter in compared to low kick. So unfortunately, this specific form is not going to be something coming in and taking over the fighting type scene. Now, taking a look at Meloetta's other form, Aria, it is going to have a max CP of 3,972, just barely missing that debuff for the 4,000 CP. Attack 250, defense 225, and stamina 225. Yes, it is looking pretty good. It is going to be weak to Bug and Dark, resisting Ghost and Psychic. Taking a look at the quick moves, it does have Quick Attack and Confusion. Confusion's looking real nice for me. And then for the charge moves, we have Hyper Beam, Thunderbolt, Dazzling Gleam, and Psyshock. Wow, Psyshock and Confusion combination with a 250 attack isn't looking horrible, but you're going to have better Psychic type attackers that are going to be outpacing it with Psychic, and Mewtwo, of course, with Psystrike. So this one is going to be a fun Pokemon to add to your collection whenever they do release it. I love how that little bit that it does have on its head looks like a microphone. It is kind of like a singing Pokemon, so very cute here. It's going to be a nice one to add for a possible unique Psychic type team. As far as a normal typing, I mean, Quick Attack and Hyper Beam, we already know normal types are really not too useful, so you don't really have to look forward to that. Dazzling Gleam, I mean, it does give you coverage against that weakness to Dark, so this form is looking pretty good. We'll just have to see what happens in the future. Now, Keldeo is going to be a part of the Swords of Justice, so we'll have to see if they actually throw it in after Virizion. That'd be pretty exciting. As far as an EX rate, I don't think really too much it will be. It is going to be a water and fighting type. Max CP 3,698, attack 260, defense 192, and stamina 209. It's going to be weak to electric, fairy, flying, grass, and psychic, resisting bug, dark, fire, ice, rock, steel, and water. For the fast moves, it is going to have low kick and poison jab. For the charge moves, it's going to have close combat, hydro pump, X scissor, and aqua jet. So as far as a pure fighting type, yet again, this one is getting screwed over as far as the quick moves go. For the fighting, low kick is absolutely horrific, and you don't really want it. You're better off with poison jab. Close combat is going to be okay in PvP. Hydro pump, it's going to be getting stabbed as well as from close combat. X scissor, a bit of coverage, I suppose, for those grass types and psychic types. And then you have Aqua Jet, which can possibly serve you pretty good in PvP with a fairly low energy cost, so you can spam it. So Keldeo, we'll see how that works out. Then we have Arceus, which can in fact be every single type. This one's very interesting. In the main series games, it does have specific plates that you could put on it and actually hold, so it will become those types. Not too sure how they're going to introduce that in Pokemon Go, but through data mine, we have seen that every single one of its types are introduced, so you can expect that. And normally, it is going to be a normal type with a max CP of 3,989, attack 238, defense 238, and then stamina 237. And then for the fast moves, it's going to have Shadow Claw and Iron Tail. For the charge moves, it's going to have Future Sight, Hyper Beam, and Outrage. Now, alright, this is going to be my personal take here. You either want Ghost typing, Psychic typing, or Dragon typing if it does maintain these moves upon release. Obviously, they can be switched up, and all of this information regarding Arceus and my specific take on what types you want to be will be null and void. But you kind of want to be Ghost type. You kind of want to be Psychic and or Dragon type. Well, because Shadow Claw is really good as a quick move, you'll be getting stabbed from Future Sight if you're Psychic, and or stabbed from Outrage if you are Dragon typing. So Arceus, yet again, a very interesting Pokemon, and apparently the god of Pokemon. So that one might be a pretty special release. Now, Genesect is also going to have multiple different forms as well. This is going to be your best bug type attacker when it does get released. Same type as Scizor, and as well as Fortress. Bug and Steel only going to have one weakness, and that is going to be to fire here. Now, if you take a look, it does have multiple different forms: the Burn, the Chill, the Douse, and the Shock. So as you can see, just weak to fighting, or fire, sorry, and also resisting a whole ton of Pokemon here: Grass, Poison, Bug, Dragon, Fairy, Ice, Normal, Psychic, and Steel. So Genesect is going to be pretty awesome when it does get released. I do like this one, and its shiny form does look amazing. It's like a red looking color. Now, taking a look at its quick moves, in its normal form, Furry Cutter, Metal Claw. For the charge moves, Hyper Beam, X Scissor, and Magnet Bomb. So Magnet Bomb is going to be a fantastic move for PvP, as well as X Scissor for a bit of coverage there as well. Not so much against fire types, but it is going to be there. And then for its other burn form, you're going to have Flamethrower in replace of Hyper Beam. And then moving over to Chill, it is going to be going from Flamethrower to Ice Beam. and then switching it up to the Douse. This is going to be Poison, and it's going to be going to Gunk Shot, maintaining its other moves throughout its different forms here, other than that one Hyper Beam being switched over, as well as the Flamethrower, Ice Beam, and then finally it's going to have Zap Cannon for its, I wouldn't say final form, but for the final form we're looking at right here. So Genesect, possibility for an EX raid? Not too sure. Not too sure, folks. But this one is due for a release. But what Niantic could simply do is release Pokemon we've already had before in its shiny form, you know. And what's even more annoying that they do is releasing it in the shiny form without even giving it a signature move or a newer move, in fact. Thank you for watching, trainers. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up, and I'll be catching you all next time. Take care.